situation and see everything. So Trump is saying that the ceasefire between Iran and the United States is over because Iran violated the terms and conditions of the deal and attacked a few vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, and United States respond rapidly um, and strike over 80 targets in Iran. So although the ceasefire is over, Trump is saying that we could still negotiate, but the ceasefire is over. So if you guys have been watching my live for a while now, I spoke about this on numerous occasions where I'm saying that the Iranian government is so vast, and no one really knows who is controlling the country to a certain degree and who has the final say on any initiative that Iran might be undertaking. So it's crazy because Trump might make a deal, or the United States might make a deal with one faction of the government, but if the other faction of the government doesn't agree with it, then it could spell disaster. You understand? So that's what's going on right now. It's they're saying is a faction of the Iranian National Guard that really attacked the ships in the strait, and because ultimately what Iran wants is to collect toll from the strait. That's what they're looking to do. They're looking to do it to collect toll from ships going through the strait, and the United States is not with that, and also the international community is not with that as well. So that's where the conflict came in, and you know, it's a whipsaw situation, on again, off again, on again, off again, and it's been going on for a while now. Um, the tension cooled over the past few weeks. Oil was ultimately going down, and gas was following suit as well. But now oil spiked over 6% in early morning trade, and the Dow was down 700 points. The Nasdaq was down significantly as well, and also the S&P 500 index was also down. However, they have recovered a little bit now, but that fear is still lingering in the markets. That fear is still there. That fear is still there, and I am thinking this is going to be a continuous operation and a continuous fear that traders and investors and the world at large will have to have in the back of their mind, because going forward they might strike a deal again some point in the future. Maybe today, tomorrow, they might strike a deal again, and ceasefire might be on again, and then it might go off again where Iran probably do something that caused the United States to respond or Israel to respond to either the Houthis up there in Lebanon. Because remember, Israel is a part of this whole thing too, and the Houthis in Lebanon are part of this whole thing too. So it's a very, 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 very tedious situation, and it's a very delicate situation as well. So that's what's going on today in the markets. What you guys think? I To be honest with you, I think this was never a long-term solution to what's going on in Iran. I know this ceasefire was going to fall apart somewhere or somehow, because as I said earlier, the people who are controlling Iran, it's not one man controlling Iran. It's like different faction of the government. And they did this, and they set up the government after the Ayatollah passed away like this because they don't want to have any centralized command. Their command is decentralized, and one faction of the command might not be in agreement with the other factions. So that's why we have these strikes happening, and one faction is saying, "Oh well, we didn't sanction this strike. We didn't authorize this," and then another faction might say, "Oh, we didn't know about this neither." And then a next faction is saying, "Oh well, we didn't agree with the terms of the deal. We didn't agree with that, so That's why we're retaliating, and we want the tolls, we want the ships to be paying tolls going through the strait. So ultimately, it's either we have to make some sort of negotiations where all the Iranian government faction is coming together to really be in one accord and get this done, because we need this to be done. Um, Oil. So one thing to note though, even though the markets dropped like significantly, the Dow was down 700 points earlier, and the Nasdaq was down a bit more. Well, not a bit more, but almost close to that. It's not as surprising as how it was earlier in the year when when Trump come out and say something and the markets take a deep dive. Traders are getting used to this on again, off again thing with Iran. So it is not as significant as it was before in the past. So that's one thing to note. And you know, Trump was in Turkey. Trump was in some meeting in Turkey. I forgot what meeting it was in Turkey, and this is when he made these comments. So what do you guys think? I don't think oil is gonna go up more. I hope. 1 second, guys. I don't think oil is gonna go up any more significantly than what it is, because the market gets used to it, and there's not a the fear is not as pronounced as it was before, because um, we kind of realize this pattern. People kind of catching up on this pattern where the tension is cool for a few weeks, oil prices start to go down, give the world economy a relief, and then boom, it's back on again. The attacks start again, and then the tensions erupted, and oil might cut off for a few days, for a few weeks, and so throughout this whole process, I think that there's going to be some relief for the world market as it relates to oil going through the straits and supplying the world economy with its oil demand. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But who knows? Who knows? This might just be a short-term misunderstanding, and the markets and the world economy might just bounce back from this today. I don't know if the market's gonna stay down all day today, or they might bounce back, but we shall see what happens throughout the course of the day. That's what's going on with Trump. Trump is overseas right now. And also, they attack the Iranian fire hitting U.S. military targets in Bahrain and Kuwait. Yeah. So yes, Trump is at the NATO summit. That's where he's at. He's at the NATO summit. He's at the NATO summit, and he also makes some speech, which we're gonna get into later, not now, but first we're gonna touch the markets a little bit to see what's going on with the market. So energy is, as we all know this before, because we spoke about this in previous live stream. Oil actually runs the U.S. economy. Oil is the backbone of the economy. When oil prices are spiking, all other prices follow suit. Gasoline, transportation costs, food prices, and everything. So if this continues, and if this go back to where we were, we might see additional price increases. A few days ago, Walmart dropped prices because oil prices were coming down, and Walmart dropped prices on some items. Which that's a very unconventional thing, because usually when food prices go up, very rarely they go back down. And Walmart is a giant in the grocery business, and Walmart actually can afford to drop prices because their demand is so big that they can negotiate with suppliers, that they can negotiate with their vendors to say, hey, we want to get these products down at a certain price point, so make it happen, or we're going to go to somewhere else. And another thing a lot of people don't know is Walmart has their own. So what Walmart operation is so vertically integrated to a point where they have their own ships. I think Costco does this too. Walmart has their own vessels that are transporting their goods via sea, whatever they import or whatever, raw materials or grains, whatever Walmart import and sell to us. Walmart is so vertically integrated to the point where they have their own vessels, and they can negotiate all prices for fuel prices and so forth. So long story short, I say that to say this: Walmart is a giant in the industry, one of the biggest